is going on, Honda Actarians? That doesn't sound good. We're gonna have to think about that one. I got the Sambarian thing going, but we gotta think of something for the Acty guys now. Because as you can see, this is not a Subaru. This is a Honda. I just picked this guy fresh up off the boat from Japan yesterday. I'm gonna make a video on that whole importing process and all that stuff, maybe this weekend or another time. So if you're in the mood to import something from Japan, I can kind of give you some pointers, some pros and cons, what to look forward to when you're going to try to import something, because I see a lot of people asking about the whole import process, and it can be kind of confusing. Obviously you're bringing in a vehicle from another country, and there's more to it than just sending Japan some money and hoping you get a car shipped over here. I mean, it's a long process. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it for something that is it's worth it. It's worth just the experience, especially for something like this. This was kind of like a unicorn Honda Acty van, fire van. If you Google Honda Acty fire vans, it's not very common at all. I've seen a Subaru fire van, JDM Car and Motorcycle, I think, had one. That was a Subaru, but I've never seen a Honda Acty fire van. Yes, it's not like your typical fire van where it's got the gold and all that fancy stuff on it. We're kind of thinking this was at like some kind of Honda campus, and it carried fire extinguishers and hoses because it's got a pull-out rack. I'll go over a lot more detail in this van, but all you guys got to know is I'm super stoked, and I'm not just going to be doing solely sandbars anymore, and well, pieces of the move as I was wrapping it, but we're going to do a lot of Honda Acty stuff now, which the trucks and the vans have the same motor. This is an HH3, so it's a two-wheel drive Honda Acty van, but same motor as a Honda Acty truck. So some stuff's in the same locations and stuff like that. So as far as, you know, filters and maintenance and all that good stuff, they're almost the same. Just like the Subaru vans and the trucks, it's almost the same. There's just a few things that are slightly different in locations and all that. So I don't remember if I said I just picked this guy up yesterday from the port in Tacoma here in Washington. So it's got 4,600 kilometers on it, so you can only imagine. There's a lot of stuff on this van that is in excellent condition and really is just new but old, so it needs to be changed, obviously. Fuel filter, and I mean, I pulled the air filter out already, as you can see. There's just some dust on it. I mean, the motor just has a layer of dust on it. I'm pretty sure this thing sat in a garage or covered somewhere, because you can see it's red, and I've had red cars, and red fades real quick when it sits in the sun for too long. There's no rust on this thing. The entire bottom is not painted black. It's factory, whatever the undercoating black is. It's just, I'm so pumped on this thing, and I'm excited to share this with you guys, to show you, you know, what you can essentially get from Japan for, you know, a fairly reasonable price. But again, it is a very big, long process, and yeah, and I'll explain all that at another time. But anyways, this was a Honda Fire van, and yeah, we're gonna do some maintenance on it, and now I can do videos on basic stuff on how to do things on your Honda Actys, and I'm super stoked. So we're gonna start with air filter and fuel filter and stuff like that, and as time goes on, obviously get a little more in depth for doing parts and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super glad if you're watching this and following along and on the journey of OK Garage, and kind of, you know, seeing what we got going on here, and hopefully these can help you out, and if not, maybe help waste some time. Okay, let's get to the air filter. Okay, so truck and the vans are the same. The location of the air filter is actually, what's nice about the sandbars is the back on the van, the bumper folds down and you have complete access to the engine, and the trucks have the flap engine cover and that comes down as well. The van only has the metal lid inside the van to remove. So the air filter is, can't really show you too well, but if you look behind your exhaust, there is a plastic housing with, I've already unclipped it, but it's gonna look like this, and there's 3 clips on it. So you're gonna wanna undo those 3 clips, and the air filter is in there like this on a threaded post with a little wing nut. So you undo the wing nut. Now I see a lot of guys, I think they like jerry rig filters they can get from like AutoZone and all that stuff like that. Personally, I don't think that's really worth it, but you do whatever you want to do. I do sell the air filters that are a direct replacement, and they're not very expensive. So we're going to do the air filter. There is a sticker inside, and I'm pretty sure this thing was serviced. I bought it in October in the auction, and I think it was serviced in like September. So this thing, the oil's still perfect looking. I'll still change it just in case. The transmission fluid, it's an automatic, and the transmission fluid is pink, so it's just incredible. But as you can see, here's the new air filter, and here's the old one. I think that's just the color of the material, not so much that it's dirty, because it still smells clean. So anyways, I figured let's just start with the new air filter. So you're gonna get your air filter, obviously, and your gasket end is gonna go in first. And it's gonna slide up over that little threaded post there. And you're gonna, doing the air filter is pretty easy. It could be a little confusing as where to find it, but on the sandbars, the air filter is on top of the engine, and this one is at the back of the engine. So we'll tighten that wing nut down, and we'll get that guy in there. And what I would also do, check while you're changing the filter, since these have a hose that runs from the exhaust muffler into the intake box, it works as like an air warmer. So fireworks? Hopefully some fireworks, yeah. So it heats up the air, and then it feeds into the air box, which then warms up the engine quicker because it is carbureted. So I would just check your air filter and make sure it's not turning black, because I've had this issue on the sandbars where it was actually recirculating exhaust fumes, and it was making it run pretty crummy. So maybe take a look at that, and if that is an issue, I would see if you got an exhaust leak and if you can disconnect the heater hose so you're not sucking in exhaust and losing power, essentially. Okay, so you got your air filter changed. We're gonna put the housing thing back on, so you just flip it all back very carefully. Watch out for falling debris. There's one on top, and then there's obviously two on the bottom. Okay. You got the air filter in there. And there you go. That's how you change the air filter. Not very difficult. But let's move on to the good old fuel filter now. Okay, so the fuel filter is located just above, just behind the spare tire on the passenger side. So there's a little kind of a pocket that it sits in. I'll just show you so you can see what the heck I'm looking at. Okay, so there's this little pocket. It's on fisheye, so my fingers are gonna look real long. There's your spare tire. So up underneath on kind of the side of the body there on the van, I'm sure it's probably the same on the truck. There's a little circle bracket that this sits in. So there's like a clip right here. Kind of hard to see, but that sits in here. Let's see. So that sits in there like such. There's a clip that clips into the side of this thing, so you push it in and push up, and your fuel filter will come up out of that little carrier. And now we'll bring the fuel filter down. Let's see if we can get it. Carefully get it to come down. There we go. So now that we have this and we're able to get to it, we're gonna take the it looks as though there's a clip on the other side too. We're gonna take the hoses off and put the new filter in, and these are directional, so we're gonna make sure that the arrow is pointing towards the back of the truck or van. If you can see on the top, let's see, there we go, there is the arrow, and we're gonna make sure that is facing towards the rear of the vehicle. So I'm gonna get some fuel pliers, clamp these hoses, and get those hoses off. Okay, so I have these little fuel clamp or airline hose clamps, whatever. I got these for when I was working on concrete trucks for clamping airlines and stuff like that. We're gonna clamp the fuel hoses so nothing comes spilling on us. Let's see here. Well, I have some needle nose. We're gonna take the hose clamp off. So those just kind of squeeze together, and then squeeze them together, and then we'll slide them down the hose line a little bit. So the hose is probably going to be stuck on there pretty good. I would take a pair of needle nose and just twist the hose so it kind of loosens up on the nipples on the filter, and then you can slowly work it off. Okay, so after some finagling, got the fuel filter off. That's what you're looking for right here. There's your arrow. I can't really see it. Yeah, kind of right there. That's the arrow on the top, and we want that facing towards the back of the van. And then here are the clips that I was mentioning. You can see them. You just want to push that in, the one side in, and then push the filter up. I don't know how old this filter is. Hey, patitos. And yeah, I don't know how old that thing is, but let's put that that new one in. And I do sell the fuel filters too. Must be some kind of float in here. And the ones I sell are very, 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 very close to the factory ones, so you won't have any issues sliding the hose onto the nipples. And it's sitting in the little pocket or the tray or the carrier that it's in. Show you guys this new addition to the family we got here. This cone of heat though keeps coming around. He is super cool looking. Hey bud. Perfect fit. Slips right, sits right in and clips in. This is the G Parts one that I sell. So it's like a perfect exact fit OEM. So there's no finagling really going on. So we're gonna give it a prime, which you turn the key a few times, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, let it fill up with fuel, and then we'll fire her up. Actually, I take that back. You don't even need to prime by turning the key off and on. Just let the key sit in the on position, and it's gonna pump, and it will probably pump until it feels pressure, and you can actually see the fuel fill up in the fuel filter. So I just turned the key to the on position and it pumped. It made this clicking noise, and then it clicked quite a bit. And then you could see the filter actually fill up with gas. So let's give her a start now. Cool. Well, she's running good. Everything's happy. So this is the beginning of quite a journey we're gonna have here with Gimli. So awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. We'll do more stuff later time. I'm gonna work on cleaning the interior and get her all dialed in. But yeah, until the next video, take it easy, guys.